Hi, teachers! Do you want your student to feel remembered, laugh, share more ideas, and many more? Today, our topic is about Talk Communication Framework. T stands for topic, A is for asking, L is for levity, K is for kindness. Let's dive in, let's go. Lesson number 1 Topic. If you want your student to feel connected with you, prepare one topic before the class starts. You know what, teachers? The problem is, when we start the class, suddenly we don't know what question to ask our students, right? And it feels really awkward, right? And it usually happens because we don't prepare what topic to ask in the first place, right? We didn't prepare what topic to ask. Now, one simple habit that really worked for me is before the class starts, I think of something, what topic I could ask them about. It could be from their business trip, sports, anything. It doesn't need to be perfect, just one topic will do. Now, personally, I try to do this with my students and most of the time teachers. It really worked. For some reason, it really worked. Conversation flows naturally, and when the student feels that, oh, Gerald is interested to know that about me, something magical happens. They tend to share more ideas, share more topics, life experiences. See, that's the power of preparing simple topic, right? That's why, teachers, I really encourage you to prepare one topic before you join your lesson next time. Yeah, it's really effective. Lesson number 2. If you want your student to share more ideas, ask follow-up questions. You know what, teachers? The problem is when our student is telling something intriguing, right? We tend to forget to ask follow-up questions. This happens usually because our attention is scattered and divided, and that's why we forgot to ask and follow-up questions, right? One simple habit that really worked for me is, as much as possible, I try to ask follow-up questions. For example, when my student is sharing their dreams, plans, business trips, exam, sports, anything, I improvise questions, follow-up questions here and there. Something magical happens when I do that. They are more likely to share more ideas, more stories, more dreams, more plans, more of them. And that's the power of asking follow-up questions. Remember, teachers, asking follow-up question, it is a skill. Curiosity is a skill, being interested is a skill, and it takes practice to be good at it. And you can do it. We can do it, teachers. You know what? I would love to encourage you to stay curious, stay interested, and then ask more follow-up questions when we are talking with our students. I'm telling you, conversation will flow naturally, and it's a win-win situation. Both of you will both have fun, right? Exactly. Lesson number 3, levity. If you want your student to smile while you're having lesson with them, improvise a small quick joke, teachers. The problem is, most of the time, we forget to add humor during the lesson, right? I understand because nobody teaches us how to be a funny person, right? And I strongly agree that being a funny is a skill. right? It takes practice. So I don't know if I'm funny, I'm trying my best. One simple habit that really worked for me is I improvise a joke with my students during the lesson. Anything like, I don't know, maybe it's just instinct. Like when I think something funny, I say it out loud with students. And most of the time it didn't work, most of the time it worked. And yeah, and something interesting happened when I do that, when I improvise a joke. My student, they tend to smile, even the joke is not funny. I mean, I don't know. It's just so funny, like to share something funny with your students or ask them something funny. That's the power of levity, adding humor with our students during the class. It's so powerful. And that's why teachers, I really encourage you, to improvise small, quick jokes. Like, let's be creative teachers. You can do it, we can do it. I don't believe that we can't be funny. Like, no, being funny is a set of skills that we need to practice, and I'm still figuring out how to be a funny person, right? How to be a funny teacher. Teachers, lesson number 4. If you really want your student to feel truly heard, validate their feelings and opinions. You know what, teachers? The problem is, I know I'm so guilty about it because sometimes we tend to invalidate their opinions, their feelings. It's so understandable because no one teaches how to validate their feelings the right way, to respond with empathy, right? And you know what? One simple habit that I just learned recently is to use this phrase. It goes something like this: that makes sense that you feel X because Y happened. Example: let's say your student says, Gerald, I just feel tired because the long traffic today. So, teacher, instead of brushing it off, try. Try to say, that makes sense that you feel exhausted because traffic can make anyone tired. See the magic. It's a small response, but it made the difference. All it takes is one validating statement, right? Personally, since I just learned this recently, so I would love to use this for my students, family, and the people around me. That's the power of validating someone's opinion and feelings. Powerful, right? Exactly. And remember, teachers, empathy, showing that we care, this is a skill that we can learn, right? Through by practice, right? And we can do it. Yeah. So I really encourage you, teachers, let's empathize. Let's validate the opinion and feelings of our students. Or even you too, we could use this for ourselves. Exactly, because I believe the way you treat others is the way you treat yourself, right? So let's validate instead of judgment, right? So let's have a recap. Today, we learn about the Talk Communication Framework by Dr. Alison Brooks. T is for topics, A is for asking, L is for levity, and K for kindness. You know what, guys? This is a good communication framework to be a better communicator, right? And it's more effective when we apply it, when we practice, talking with students, friends, anyone, strangers, anyone. We can apply this method. And yeah, hopefully, let's grow together, teachers. And thank you for watching.